So definitely a fair amount of news transpired in the past 48 hours of the NFL. First and foremost, George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. Fair play to Jerry Jones, man. I'm not a big Jerry guy like most people, but sometimes you got to give credit to where it's due. It only cost the Cowboys a third and a fifth for George Pickens. I don't really know how anyone could hate on this move for the Cowboys. They needed a number two besides CD Lamb, and George Pickens is a great wide receiver, man. I know all the attention he mainly gets is how he acts on the field, and yeah, he is a diva for sure, and yeah, he crashes out and whatnot, but you take that aside, if you give George Pickens a good quarterback, I think he could easily be a top 20 wide receiver in this league. And I expect him to have a huge year for the Cowboys. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you have to be fired up. I don't know why you wouldn't be. So just a phenomenal move for the Cowboys. And for all the people who aren't big on George Pickens going to Dallas, or all the people who are calling it just an okay move, I know that's because of his personality, but if you really think about it, George Pickens played with Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields for his career. Now, those three quarterbacks aren't really the best guys, and Dak Prescott is significantly better. I feel like the culture is probably a little bit better compared to Pittsburgh, so you never know. Maybe George might calm down a little. He might be more contained. And I just expect him to have a huge year. And I'm really hyped for the Cowboys. And so far, man, Jerry Jones pulled off two big trades. Joe Milton, now George Pickens. Apparently, he has one more trade in the works. And you have to think that may potentially be Micah Parsons. They have yet to work out a deal. I'm not sure what Jerry is trying to target here. Is he trying to get first round pick? Is he trying to get another player back? Maybe a running back? I don't know, but keep an eye on Micah Parsons potentially getting moved here, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. And for all the people comparing this transaction to what happened with Deontay Johnson, I just think that's a really bad take. George Pickens is a vastly better wide receiver than Deontay Johnson. I know both of them have their personality issues, and I know Deontay Johnson has kind of bounced around a bunch of teams, but I just think that's a bad comparison if you're one of those people that is making that comparison. But yeah, man, other NFL news, the Eagles are actually keeping Dallas Goedert on a rework deal. He was reportedly on the trade block this past offseason, but they have decided to keep him. I think that's low-key a big move. I know he's not the best tight end in the league, but I think he's pretty elite once it comes down to crunch time. And if you're an Eagles fan, I think you got to be pretty happy about this outcome. He's set to enter the final season of a 4-year, $57 million extension. And a big reason why they wanted to trade him and move off of him this offseason is because last year he didn't really have the best season. In 2024, he played a career-low 10 games as he was banged up. And he only had 2 receiving touchdowns, which is the worst for his career so far. And he only had 42 catches for 496 yards. So yeah, he's not the best of the best, but I swear once it's playoff time, the dude just turns up to another level. So currently and going forward for the next 2 years, the Eagles are definitely in their Super Bowl window. So to keep a Super Bowl champion and a big playmaker around is just a good move in my opinion. But if you're an Eagles fan, let me know what you think about Dallas Goedert returning to the Eagles on a rework deal. Let me know in the comments below. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars released Gabe Davis only after 1 season. He signed a 3-year, $39 million contract in 2024. And he really did not do a thing with the Jaguars. He only had 20 catches for 239 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, pretty disastrous contract for the Jags. So, good for them for moving off of Gabe Davis. Just cut your losses. You just drafted Travis Hunter. You have Brian Thomas. So, that's going to be your wide receiver duo for the next 4 years at least. So, no point in keeping him around. Shout out to Gabe Davis's agent. The fact that he got almost a $40 million contract with what he did in Buffalo is pretty impressive. Yeah, he had that great, amazing playoff game in Kansas City, but beyond that, he was just a pretty inconsistent player with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So, definitely shout out to Gabe's agent. A nice finesse job. I'm not sure how much of that contract was guaranteed, but still, he made Gabe and himself probably a few M's for sure. And lastly, released Clowney only after 1 season. Signed with the Panthers in 2024 to a 2-year, $20 million contract. This move frees up $7.7 million in salary cap space. So you never know, maybe the Panthers are working on facilitating a trade for someone, because that is quite a bit of money to free up in the cap space. He had a decent season a year ago. He had 5.5 sacks with the Panthers in 2024. I'm sure he'll get picked up by some championship contender, maybe the Eagles, maybe the Rams. You never know. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But hopefully the Panthers defense will improve from how they were in 2024, because they were historically bad a season ago. So, second year with Dave Canales at the helm, you hope to have a promising season in year 2. Hopefully Bryce Young will be able to put together a full NFL regular season, and hopefully the defense will be improved. You never know, man. Maybe they could be a sneaky dark horse team to maybe make the playoffs. I think that'd be a great story, because early on in 2024, that franchise, Bryce Young specifically, was just dead in the water, and then he just revived everything in that city, on that team. So I'm rooting for the Panthers. Also, their running back Jonathan Brooks will miss the 2025 season after being placed on the physically unable to perform list. He tore his right ACL in December for the second time in 13 months. So I'm not sure if this dude will ever play again. The Panthers had high hopes for him. They drafted him in the second round of the 2024 draft. And so far in his career, he only played 3 games with only 9 rush attempts before going down with that ACL injury again. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. Hopefully he comes back, but we'll have to see. Regardless, though, the Panthers are okay at the running back position, in my opinion. Hubbard has been proven to be a pretty serviceable and solid back. They also drafted Trevor Etienne in the 4th round this past draft. So I feel like he could be a solid third down back for the Panthers. But you let me know how good you think the Panthers will be in this 2025 season. Do you believe in them, or do you think they'll just be the same old regular Panthers of the past 5 years? Let me know in the comments below. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
The Jets will be trying to make it 3 successful drives in a row as they retake the field here on offense, partner.
They got a great feeling from the offense so far. In other words, they're confident, they feel good, so you need to keep calling plays that keeps the offensive players in a positive frame of mind. You do that, hey, I wouldn't be surprised to see him march down here and score again.
That defensive front looks impenetrable here on the goal line. Rocked for a loss on that tackle.
Jets running back that time, he makes a bad decision. You can't be looking to make every play a big play when you're running the football. Look for a few yards, take advantage of that.
It's intercepted on his way. He's at the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, all the way home and all alone. Touchdown. Jets offense now will try to sustain a drive after giving the ball away just a few minutes ago before their defense came up with a play to return the pigskin.
And they should thank the defense bailing them out of trouble getting that turnover. You're right. They're just giving the football away, not being conscious of holding it the right way. It's just been sloppy play on the offense.
The Jets take it from the 28. There's a flag.